Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something really out there, a story pulled directly from our source material about a secret war for the very soul of our planet. We're talking cosmic federations, ancient secret orders, and it's all supposedly leading to a single world-changing moment.
And that's the big question, right? Our source material basically says, yep, that's exactly what's happening. It lays out this hidden conflict, a struggle between forces of light and darkness that, it claims, has secretly shaped all of human history and is now supposedly reaching its grand finale.
So to really wrap our heads around this story, we got to start big, like cosmic scale big. The source paints a picture of a galaxy that's not empty, but filled with organized factions, and a lot of them have a serious interest in what happens right here on Earth.
At its heart, it all boils down to this. You've got two major teams. On one side, the Forces of Light, which are described as this big coalition of benevolent star races. And on the other, the Cabal, or the Dark Forces, a shadowy group that has supposedly been pulling the strings on Earth for thousands of years.
Now, leading the charge for the good guys, you've got the Galactic Confederation. The best way to think of it is like a kind of cosmic United Nations, a big union of positive civilizations. You've probably heard of some of them, like the Pleiadians and Sirians. Their whole mission is to help developing worlds like ours, keep us from blowing ourselves up.
And here's where it gets really specific. The source actually names a supreme commander for this whole operation, the Comte de Saint-Germain. Yep, that mysterious historical figure from the 1700s. He's said to be the one in charge of all the forces of light for the mission to liberate Earth.
Okay, so this whole cosmic battle, it's not just happening way out in space with starships. The narrative brings the whole conflict right down to Earth, focusing on these secret orders that have allegedly been working behind the scenes for centuries, trying to guide our evolution from the inside.
The oldest group in the mix is supposedly the Brotherhood of the Star. It's described as this ultra-secret society of ascended masters, basically guiding humanity's destiny from the legendary hidden kingdom of Shambhala.
And this is where the source gets super specific. It claims that the Brotherhood's main presence here on Earth is made up of a very precise number of individuals. Not around 150,000, but exactly 144,000.
So, who are these 144,000? Well, they're called the Order of the Star. The idea is that these are cosmic beings who chose to be born as humans on Earth, starting way back in Atlantis, to act as anchors of light and kind of nudge history in the right direction from the inside.
And their fingerprints, according to this source, are all over history. They're credited with founding groups like the Templars, with being the secret spark behind the Renaissance in Florence, and even providing the spiritual juice for the entire Age of Enlightenment.
And guess who pops up again? Saint-Germain. He's positioned as a key player in all these big historical shifts, but especially in the founding of the United States. He's even credited as being the main spiritual force behind the Constitution itself.
All right, so let's fast forward a bit. This whole ancient struggle gets a modern update. The story shifts its focus to a new group, one that was formed just a few decades ago and is designed for much more direct action.
The modern resistance movement is said to have a very specific and pretty wild origin story. It supposedly all started back in 1975 with an agent known only as Michael. He went underground, and I mean literally, setting up a command center in the tunnels under New York City to build a force to fight the Cabal head-on. And the stuff this group is supposedly responsible for, it's kind of mind-blowing. The source says they helped develop personal computers, they pushed for the military's ARPANET to become the public internet that you and I use every day, and they fought intense battles, both under the ground and out in space, to clear our solar system of hostile forces.
Now, it's really important to know the resistance isn't some lone wolf operation. The source describes this powerful alliance on the surface. We're talking positive factions within the military, modern-day descendants of the Templars, and even some ancient noble families, all apparently working together for the same goal, planetary liberation.
Okay, so you've got all these different players, the cosmic good guys, the ancient secret societies, the modern-day fighters, and according to the narrative, it is all, every single bit of it, building towards one thing, a final, decisive moment that's designed to change absolutely everything.
And that one thing is called the event. This is described as the final move on the chessboard, a single, perfectly coordinated operation to completely remove the Cabal from power, finally liberate humanity, and basically hit the reset button on society as we know it.
So when the event kicks off, the Resistance has a very specific job to do, codenamed Operation Omega Phoenix. Their agents are supposed to surface from their bases, dressed in regular civilian clothes, and help local authorities all over the world with mass arrests of Cabal members.
So why? What's the point of this gigantic, complex plan that spans millennia? Well, according to the source, the motivation is actually pretty simple and pretty benevolent. The whole goal for these advanced groups is just to share the happiness and the spiritual freedom they found with the rest of us here on Earth who've been held back.
So this source lays out an unbelievably detailed roadmap for global liberation. It paints this incredible picture of a secret history and an even more dramatic future. And it really just leaves us all with one massive question. If any of this were to actually happen, what would a truly liberated world even look like for you and me?